Om. 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 मैं गरीबों का दिल हूँ वतन की दवा। मैं गरीबों का दिल हूँ वतन की दवा। बेकसों के लिए प्यार का आसमां। मैं गरीबों का दिल हूँ वतन की दवा। मैं जो बढ़ता चलूं सात मंजिल चले। मैं जो बढ़ता चलूं सात मंजिल चले। सात मंजिल चले चांद तारों से आगे मेरा आशिया। चांद तारों से आगे मेरा आशिया। मैं गरीबों का दिल हूँ वतन की दवा। बेकसों के लिए प्यार का आसमां। मैं गरीबों का दिल हूँ वतन की दवा। मैं गरीबों का दिल हूँ वतन की दवा। बेकसों के लिए प्यार का आसमां। मैं गरीबों का दिल हूँ वतन की दवा। ओ O the Brahma, O the Sakshi, O the silent witness. O the Brahma, O the Sakshi, O the silent witness. O the limitless, O the boundless. O the darkness, O the denseness. O the void. O Brahma, O Sakshi, O the omniscient, O the omnipresent. Give me the strength to transcend my karma and lead this caravan of truth seekers in your path. O Brahma, give me the strength to slay the demons, the counterparts of the devil. O Brahma, give me the strength to bring humanity and bring the dharma of humanity up. You have heard a term of sage, I am sure. Other day, I was casually looking at social media and some person who clicked on my profile, which is perfectly fine. And some person who clicked on my profile, which is perfectly fine. First name, I don't remember. You see, sometime I do not remember, but I do remember the word remember. So last name was Sage, So sage is something beyond your comprehension. Sage is something beyond that you can conceptualize. Sage is something or somebody or someone beyond the thought process. Beyond everything, beyond the human intellect, beyond the human analytical approach. Sage is somebody that we cannot imagine. The focus of a sage is so concrete. The focus of a sage is so concrete. The focus of a sage is so determined that no matter what happens in the surroundings, sage is always doing the inner observation. Sage has no memory. When sage is doing the inner observation. Sage has no memory of the body, and sage has no memory of any type, including the thoughts. Sage does not have that. Sage has let it go of everything. Sage even has let go the memory of the body, which is nothing but the accumulation, something that you are far beyond and above. Sage has let go of all the thoughts. Sage has let go of all the duality and fear and jealousy and monetary gain and financial gain and everything. Sage has no attachments. You see, sage has turned mind. Sage basically has turned mind into its slave, if you understand. Sage basically has turned mind, the mind of humanity, his into his slave. Sage has turned the table. A person who appears to be sage in one lifetime, which is one carnation. A person who appears to be sage in one lifetime, which is one carnation. That person is not the result of one lifetime and one carnation. We have discussed numerous times in the previous video. As a matter of fact, the last video or the video before that was on reincarnation, in which that I mentioned that what you essentially are gives birth and manifests as life force or life energy, which we understand as prana. You see, and that gives birth to the form, and that gives birth to shape. You have not experienced anything other than form and shapes in your entire life. Are you aware of it? Have you looked at so closely? If somehow, see, I'm a mystic, I have capabilities. If somehow I vibe, I'm saying hypothetically speaking, not that I'm going to do it, if somehow I wipe all the memory from your awareness, if somehow I wipe all the thoughts from your awareness, obviously thought is made out of memory. The content of memory is what you have perceived. We have talked about that numerous times. Moving on. If somehow I take that away, would you stop existing? Absolutely no, you would still exist, but what you would see is the forms and shapes. That's all you see, isn't it? Isn't it true or not true? You tell me. You argue with me. You see, have a polite argument with me on that one. You have not experienced anything in your entire lifetime but shape and form in Sanskrit. The Vedic Sanskrit expression for that is Nama Rupa, the world of names and forms and features. You understand? That's what sage tells you. So you can also put sage in the end of your name. You understand? I'm not being condescending to you. I'm trying to show you a reality. But are you aware what sage is or no? Sage is somebody who is already enlightened and part of the light. It appears in human form basically and shows human the path of truth and wisdom. I do not claim myself sage, nor I am. Am I a mystic? Yes. Am I a Hindu? A very proud one. Yes. So sage does the inner observation. If you drop an atom bomb next to sage while it's busy, I'm not even affiliating any type of gender with sage. If it is busy in the inner observation, obviously it is one with divinity. The body is there. That's it. That's all you witness, the body and a person sitting with closed eyes. Sage wrote 100 sages sat together. 100. One sage is the real gangster. Now imagine 100. You see the gangster at the corner of the street. You see these small gangsters. They are playing in numerous cities and states and all that, some type of abstract gangsters or gangsters in prisons or correctional facilities. You get inspired and you get very frightened and intimidated, you see, because you have fear in you. Now, understand the point I'm trying to make. Just do not get consumed in the words I'm spewing right now. The point I am trying to make, these gangsters are not the are not even the children of the sage. These gangsters cannot hold a small spark in front of the sage. Imagine God in human avatar, what you understand as avatar in English. You see, imagine imagine God, imagine God in human avatar, what you understand avatar in English. You see the avatar of Kahuna in human form. Now imagine the power a sage encompasses. Those sages were founded, those sages were started in India. You see, I take a lot of pride in that because it's the birth of wisdom. Those sages started in India and they wrote Upanishad. The Upanishad also, you have heard, it's a very advanced, it is a very modified and very advanced and very evolved stage of spirituality. You see, you have to be on a certain level in order to perceive that wisdom. In order to perceive that wisdom. If you are scrolling through the memes and listening to the peoples who are more closer to the light, but you are not doing practical, you are not getting closer to the truth. But sage, you don't have that frequency to perceive. It's not condescending, it's not arrogant. It is that I'm trying to show you, or I'm showing you, that you can do that because most of us have done it and we find ourselves all the time living in peace. You can bring your frequency up, you just need to learn to let go. You see, we'll give you a glimpse of that. Anyway, moving on. The 100 sages sat together for the inner observation, not one but 100, and they came with different type of Vedas, the Upanishad. The translation, the English of Upanishad is come sit nearby the master, the real master. The English, the translation of Upanishad is come sit close to the master. You see, what is a master? A master who has complete mastery on every single aspect of life, just not one. You heard of Shiva, you see, is one of the most prominent, it, it's one of the most prominent deities in Hinduism, Shiva. You see the Trishul in our Hinduism. Have you seen the Trishul in our Hinduism? The first in the center is Brahman, which is the principle which lays everything out in your reality. The one which runs as a common denominator in every experience and is cause of every experience but not affected by the experience itself, the one which cannot be conceptualized, the one which cannot be verbalized, the one which cannot be thought, the one which cannot be imagined, the one which cannot be smelled, the one which cannot be heard, the one which cannot be seen, the Brahman, the awareness, the self-awareness, pure consciousness, the chitta. That's number one, which points up in the center. The another in Trishul in our Hinduism, another one, it points to Lord Vishnu. You see, there is a saying in India that Shri Krishna, who change, who was in a conversation with Arjuna, the dialogue between Shri Krishna and Arjuna on different aspects and what needs to be done. It is compiled as Gita, the sacred book in Hinduism. There is a saying in India, in spiritual circles, that Lord Vishnu, Shri Krishna was an avatar or a reincarnation of Lord Vishnu, you see. And then there is Shiva. Shiva means that which is not. We talked about that. Shiva is a vibration. Shiva means that which is not. Shiva is a vibration. Shiva is a vibration. Shiva is a frequency, you see, and the manifestation of consciousness when it has duality, you see. Duality does not mean Shiva has duality in itself. Duality means when the consciousness is experiencing itself in different form and shapes. And Shiva Shiva can be explained with numerous words, but no words are enough to explain him in the end. You see, just have your focus intact. So Lord Krishna was also in New, Lord Krishna was also a sage, you see. So come sit close to the master, Upanishads, you see. It is the essence, it is the source. But as I said, that you have to be on a certain level of frequency, you see, where you have learned to let go of everything that you are not, the identifications, and also the negative traits in the dream of humanity, such as fear, jealousy, resentment, discrimination. You have to let go of everything. It does not mean that you hurt yourself, God forbid me. You can still remain in the body and not to be attached with it. Those people, the sages, had a concrete sense and focus on every reality that you have perceived in your life, and that what you have not perceived yet, and that what you will perceive in the future. I'm trying to give you the glimpse, and then I'll tell you an observation. Sages observed by the internal observation. Sages observed by the internal observation, and mind had no role in those observations when they went into deep samadhi, when they went into the deep, potent state of meditation. Mind obviously wouldn't play no role, because mind is distraction, and it always tries its level best to distract you, to create duality and to create disorders. Those sages didn't have that. As I said, sages are not the result of one carnation or one jivan. Sages are the result of many. You see, just observe something very interesting and fascinating for you humans to comprehend. Are you following? Sages observe something very concrete and very profound for you humans to comprehend, and then you would realize what you are doing. Today on social media, I said that You are dreaming your life right now. You just do not have the awareness. Just like when you try to approach death through the perspective of mind, you get scared because you are imagining the idea or the concept of death in present while you have a mind attached to you and you are very, very influenced by your mind for the most part of your day, if you understand. For the most part of your day, you are extremely influenced by it. You are so fragile that it can lead you to disaster and you wouldn't even know. So when you try to approach the concept or the thought of death, it scares you, doesn't it? That everything, then I would become nobody. Becoming nobody is the best thing that can ever happen in your life, know that. But you do not have clarity to see that way. You see, when you become no one, you are everyone. When you are something, you are nothing. You know, because something has boundary, nothing has no boundary. You see, when you are something, you have not left no room to grow or evolve further. You understand? You try moving back to not to be too bent, huh? Not to be too bent, not to be too bent from our main, from the gist of this message, huh? So, say you try to look at that, it scares you. It's everything is coming to end that you have invested yourself. That's why you are scared. If you invested wisely, there is no fear. I hope you understand everything I say. Anyway, you were dead before for a long period of time. You have no memory of it, no concrete memory of it. You were dead before for a long period of time. After this, you are going to, whenever your transition happens or death occurs or bodily demise, whenever that happens to me or you, it just depends. We may be dead for a long period of time. You were dead for a long period of time. Your brain is new. You cannot remember that. And it's a good thing if you remembered, if you if you remembered the memory of all the lifetimes that you have lived. Obviously, we are not capable to manage the memory and remembering of one lifetime. We are talking about more than one lifetime. It would crash us, you see. We would be literally, we would be crushed. um, it's a good thing you don't have access. The job which is being done on you, it's a remarkable job which is being done on you. You just do not realize it. I'm giving you the clarity now. When you are dead, you have no memory. Right now, since you are in your body and you have a mind attached, a reasoning mind, a logical mind, a rationale, you look at death and you get scared. But when you are dead, you do not have no awareness. You are dead. You know that. When I am dead, it goes to everything, you know. Do not take anything personally. It goes to everything in creation and everyone in creation. When we are dead, in other words, I am saying, when we are dead, we have no memory of that. We have no realization of we are dead. You see, just like that, sages basically they um, they observed something very interesting. They observed something extremely interesting, and the thing that they observed is when you are dreaming, you see, as I said, a sage explored life in every which way possible, not just your three-dimensional reality way, which is definitely a narrow band. You understand? You know what narrow band is? I'm sure you live in that narrow band, but you want the broadband. Everybody does. So they experience life in all the ways that life has to offer. And in order to get there, in order to experience life in all the way life has to offer, you must let go of everything consciously, not theoretically that I'm letting go, or not in any other way but consciously, while still remaining in the human form or in the human body. That's what sages, you see, concrete is the highest designation of the being, the prime consciousness, basically, the goal of life in any form. Mind you, I didn't say human form. The goal of life in any form is to achieve the prime. The goal of life in any form is to achieve the highest level of self awareness, is to achieve the highest level of consciousness. That is the goal of life in any form, not just in human form. And that is what the sage has achieved. They found something very interesting in the mastery of the dreams. When you are dreaming, now hear this out loud. When you are when you are dreaming, you have no awareness of that. Only when you wake up from the dream, you see and you say, thank God it was a dream. Imagine that you are dreaming that you are falling off a cliff. Imagine that you are dreaming that you are falling off from the height, or from a very high point you are falling down. And then you go through and you observe all the emotions of fear, all the emotions of anxiety. You are sweating. You see, sometimes you wake up. It has happened to each one of us, whether you admit to it or not. But it has, that sometime we wake up and we realize that we are sweating and our palms are clenched like this. And we are sweating and our palms are clenched like this, and our mouth is dry and our throat is dry, and we look around and we come back to this reality. You understand? We come back to this reality and we say, thank goodness it was a dream. But by the time you are experiencing the dream, you have no awareness it is a dream. That's what I said on social media today, not long ago, that you are dreaming your life right now. Look, there are different, numerous levels of awareness, if you understand. As you see that in the countries, if you understand, as you see in the countries where religion is very domineering, where religion is very where religion plays a very significant, unfortunately, I am saying, where religion plays a very significant role, or the countries which are highly, where religion is highly domineering and dominant, where religion dominates, no matter what their religion is. If you understand, I'm trying to show you a glimpse of different stages of awareness. I am trying to show you a glimpse of different level of consciousness. In those countries, if you observe an average citizen in those countries, where those citizens of that particular country are led by a religion, no matter what the religion is, no matter, it does not matter. All the religions are human constructs. Human made these religions and they live in it. You see, they created an abstract reality and now they live in that reality. You would, when you speak with those people who are very influenced by a religion, you would realize they are not on the same level of maturity as you are, if you understand. you would realize they are not on the same level of maturity as you are. You would realize they are more confrontational. Have you ever not noticed that if you have traveled to those countries, you would realize they are confrontational and they have a certain type of confidence. We talked about that not long ago. Religion and something that you believe in, a faith, it would give you confidence. You understand that? But you would not have no clarity. You wouldn't have clarity, you would miss this show which is happening. Those people are led by religion. That's why their approach is fanatic. You see, they close their eyes and they don't have clarity. They just blindly follow, if you understand what I'm saying. Hence, the consciousness or the awareness is not running through this accumulation, in their case, freely. That's why they are like that. They are not mature. Their awareness is not as mature as you are, compared to a country which is not led by religion. You see, in this country, America, and I love the Constitution, the Freemasons, the genius who wrote the Constitution of this country were extremely smart people, were very intelligent people. You see, you speak with an average person in this country, you would realize that person has higher level of acceptance, even if the person follows a religion, and that person's consciousness is not as constipated. Mind you, I said is not as constipated and relatively running freely, rather freely, in this accumulation. You see, these are different level of self-awareness, are not they? You see, you say you try to comprehend everything through a thinking mind and logic. Do you understand people migrate from one country to another country? Do you know life knows excuse me, do you know life knows what traveling is, or what migrating is, or what the borders of a country are, or what the cultures are? Life has no recognition. Life only knows itself as an energy. It's giving birth to things, and the things are putting markers, titles, and labels, basically. Those things are putting markers, titles, and labels, basically, on what's being manifested. So it is not the migration. This is the abstract reality. It is not the traveling, or it is not the traveling or moving to another country or anything like that. It is basically one person has evolved enough to see rather higher level of truth. You see, now this place has become a stranger. The vicinity, the experience, then this person travels from one experience of consciousness or self-awareness to a different level of awareness. You understand? These are the point I'm trying to make. If your focus was intact, these are different level of self-awareness. When you become more aware, you are not fitting in that vicinity now anymore. Simple. You are not fitting in that vicinity anymore. You feel suffocated. Unfortunately, you feel Shakti de. You feel you feel suffocated in that experience. You feel that you are an alien. That's the word. You feel that you have the feeling of that alienated. That's the word. Alienated feeling, while you have evolved. You let your consciousness run through more freely while you were living in a country which was heavily dominant, which was led by some religion. But you evolved a little further. Now that place becomes strange to you. You feel suffocated. You cannot breathe properly. Nobody can understand what you say. And even if they hurt, sometimes they are willing to hurt you because those people are fanatics. You do not feel safe. And then nature clears the path for you, and you and the nature clears the path for you, and then you go, because of course that you let the consciousness run through freely your body. Nature does everything in its power to clear the path, and you change the experience. Now the three-dimensional experience which was being generated in those third world countries, now you are moving where this you would still have the three-dimensional experience, but people in your surroundings are not going to hurt you if you speak volume. You understand? They may disagree with you, but they are more evolved consciously. They have more acceptance. You see, they are more evolved consciously. They have more acceptance towards you, the concepts, the ideas, everything that you know. If you say they may disagree with you, they may walk away. It's very simple. And it is very possible they may walk away. You see, they may not like what you are saying, or they may just disagree, you see, but they are not extremist or fanatics. Now, your three-dimensional reality experience from a country where most people were fanatics, that was a lower level of consciousness, that was a lower level of self-awareness. You see, you evolve, your entire experience change with the help of the nature, and now you are in and now you are experiencing the three-dimensional reality in a more evolved way, where consciousness basically is rather running freely through your body. So that three-dimensional reality, which is a narrow band, is still a narrow band, but rather a little broad band. You see, then you evolve further. Then you evolve further. There comes a time that you are evolving and you are transcending even the human tendencies in you. You see, human is a form life takes. You see, have you heard the term esoteric? Esoteric. Have you heard the term esoteric? Esoteric is something, some some truth, some wisdom. The acceptable definition, the acceptable definition of this would be that some truth and some wisdom which only a certain circle of beings can comprehend or even perceive. It rather it is an acceptable definition. Esoteric, rather confined truth and wisdom, that you have to be on a certain level of vibration in order to even comprehend. So that band, if some band of those people which encompassed esoteric knowledge and the truth and the wisdom, basically they resided some 3,000 years or even a little before that or around that time in southern Mexico. You see, those were called the Toltecs. You see, brilliant beings, extremely, the magnitude of their wisdom, the magnitude of their perception was extremely heightened, you see, because they were quiet within, because they were silent within. That's what esoteric knowledge they had through internal observation. They were called the Toltecs. Now, brilliant beings. I wouldn't even call them human beings, brilliant beings. And they benefit the glow and the dream of humanity in numerous ways, you see. Unlike the most parasites human that are living in this planet, they are not giving anything in return. Their mouth is just like a hoover, you see. It sucks everything in. Their their mouth, sadly and unfortunately, is just like a hoover which sucks everything, and they sadly and unfortunately can step on somebody's throat in order to get ahead in life. But this is more than half of the humanity. They are selfish and self centered. When they go to somebody and communicate and start a conversation profoundly, in the back of their mind, they already are scheming what I can get out of this person. How can I betray this fellow human and get something that I want? Let us see these resources, let us see these authorities, let us see this money. How far you are going to go with that? Let us see that. We, the yogis, the meditators, are here to watch the show. How far you are going to go? You see. Uh, so, Toltecs basically were, they encompassed that kind of wisdom and truth because they did the inner observation. They called humans as a form that one takes. They call human when you become selfish, when you lie, when you cheat, when you go after money, and you are nothing but materialistic, and you are nothing but after monetary gain and finances, you become human. That's what the perception they came to realize. That's why I say beings. I rather use the term beings. Those Toltecs were no different than the sages in India. It doesn't matter where we, the beings, are born. No demographics or geographical identities can stop us, because we are here to bring the dharma of humanity up. Those Toltec call human is a form one takes when you become all that, you see. And you can transcend that just like that. It only takes your free will. We talked about free will in the previous retreat or the retreat before. So what I was telling you, when I speak with you, I approach things in different perspective and I use a lot of words, but if your focus remain intact, you realize that I have made a significant point and I have brought clarity in your perception in the end. So when you are dreaming, you have no awareness you are dreaming. When you are dead, when I am dead, since you have learned to take everything personally, when I say you, it means each one of us, and it has to happen to each one of us. When we are dead, we have no awareness we are dead. Only right now we get scared because we are trying to approach death through a thinking process, through a logical mind, which can only know so much. For the most part, is a parasite. We mentioned that before. So, first thing, don't be scared of anything, because if you are not scared of death, then you just about are not scared of anything else, then there is no point of being scared of anything else when the fear of death is gone from you. So that was one point. Number two, that when you are dreaming, just like that, when you were dead, you were not aware. When you are dreaming, you do not know it's a dream. You perceive reality, whatever it is happening. And then only when you wake up, your your clutches, you clutch, your throat is dry, your mouth is dry, your throat, excuse me, your throat is parching, you are sweating, your pulse is very high. It is the result, it is basically the result of everything that you were experiencing when you were dreaming. And only when you wake up, you realize that was just a dream. Just a dream, just a dream. You see, was the band from Athens or Atlanta, Georgia? What's the band? I'm trying to remember. REM. Yeah. And they made the song Losing My Religion. And there was a line basically that was just a dream, just a dream, just a dream. And this, just like that, these are, as I mentioned, these are different level of awareness and consciousness, but you have no awareness because your awareness is no heightened. Right now you are dreaming your life while you are listening to the sound of my words, witnessing my body, and whatever the sensory perceptions are present around you, basically whatever is making that experience, everything counts, but it is also a low level of awareness. One day you would wake up from this awareness to in a rather higher level of awareness. These are different level of awareness you are. When you are dreaming, that is a low level of awareness. When you wake up, you say, thank God that was a dream. By the time you were dreaming, you did have no awareness, it's a dream. Only when you wake up, you say, okay, I am in reality now. Just like that, this reality is also a dream. When you wake up in the higher level of awareness or consciousness, this reality goes just like this. So stop your suffering and understand this is all temporary. It's a small dream, you see. That's what sages of India observe the Upanishads. They observed it, that these are different level of self-awareness. What happens when you go to sleep? The what happens when you go to sleep? You know, you let go of everything willingly. We talked about that other day. Remember? You always remember the word remember. So when you go to sleep, you let go of everything. The awareness which is running through your body, the consciousness which is running through your body, it retrieves from every part of your body and it goes to mind. If you understand the consciousness, the sense of self awareness, your very fundamental state, the darkness, the kahuna, the limitless, it retrieves and goes back. It retrieves itself only and confines only to the mind. And then mind comes into the being, everything that you have perceived to that point so far, that gives birth to the dreams. You see how everything is going. Are you following me? Are you with me so far? Is your focus intact with me so far? So what happens basically, it retrieves from the body the consciousness or the sense of self awareness to the mind. Now, the entire consciousness, the chitta, is in the mind, and mind comes into play. Everything what you have experienced so far, all the objects, all the voices that you heard, all the birthdays you celebrated. You like to celebrate birthdays, don't you? So, all the birthdays that you celebrated, and then all of that is in the mind. Now, consciousness, then you have dreams. Dreams are nothing but a low level of reality. Dreams are a low level of reality. They are nothing but a small, a rather not as concrete a reality. That's what I am saying. That's why you know it's a dream. Dream, whatever consciousness plays in the mind has no awareness. It is a dream. I hope you are understanding. As I have mentioned numerous times to you before, when I speak with you, I'm in a state of meditation. And also, when I speak with you, I say things sometimes is very difficult for people to say, but have your vibration, remember we talked about vibration, has have your vibration and frequency match with me. You see, one day you would have it and I may not be around that time, but anyway, each one of us is heading to the same destination. We talked about that too. So the consciousness or the sense of self-awareness basically retrieves from there to the mind, and then it gives birth, it gives birth to the dreams. And then what happens is it gives birth to the dreams and you are dreaming, and all your sensory perception, all you are dreaming, but you see yourself in the dream too, as a as a spectator, as an observer. Have you ever not noticed that? You notice, master your dreams, observe, focus. you see yourself in the dreams too as a third party. Have you not seen yourself in your dreams? You see. Um, Sometime we are having, I would give you an example. I'm very liberal and open. You understand that sometimes we are having a erotic dream. In that erotic dream, we are observing ourselves having intercourse with another being, but we observe that, and we are fully involved in that process of intercourse. We are fully involved. You see, we even have the pleasure in the dream while there is happy ending. And then when we wake up, we realize that the impact here, and it is there. You see, you understand why I'm saying to you, I'm very liberal. So I speak very openly. It is not the matter of morality, it's the matter of your awareness. How did that happen? Because you had all the pleasure. That's why I said it's a low level of reality. It is not as concrete as this reality, but this reality is also not as concrete compared to the reality that you are going to wake up one day. You do not know when that day is. I do not know when that day is. You know as well as I do what day I'm talking about. We do not know when that day is. Compared to that reality, we are going to wake up one day. This would be a dream. When you wake up on that reality, you would have no awareness of it. Only, oh, it was a dream. Only that awareness, you see. It's immense, that reality. That reality is borderless. That reality is fascinating. You see, what happens when you do not have no dreams? You see, this is all the observation, the inner observations of the sages of India. Basically, sages basically were founded. They were founded, they started over there in India. So this was all the inner observation for us to see things rather much clearly. The predecessors, people who followed them. And that's why India became the birth. You see, birth. Have you given birth? Do you know what that is? India became the birth of wisdom. Understand that. That is what they stated. That then what happens is you have dreamless sleep. You slept so profoundly and you slept so tight that when you woke up and somebody, your spouse, your partner, your lover, or whoever is around you, they said, they said, how was your dream? How was your sleep? They asked you that question. They said, how was your sleep? You see, trying to initiate a conversation, trying to initiate a communication with you, and they say, how was your sleep? And then you answer, I slept like a log, or I slept like a baby, if you understand. I don't remember anything. I don't remember even a dream. There was nothing over there but blankness, isn't it? Is it fair to say blankness is not the absence of experience? You know, if I may use such a word, I think it's a term, experience or experiencer. I do not know if experiencer itself in the word in dictionary, but you get the point. I do not invest a lot of faith in words. They are so fragile. They are so clumsy. You know, clumsy, what clumsy is? They are so clumsy. They cannot hold reality for more than a few seconds. You see, I do not invest in that. It's not wise for me. Anyway, so it's not the absence of the experiencer or experiencee, isn't it? If there is blankness, if there is darkness, if there is void, you don't remember anything. Is it the absence of experiencer or experiencee, or is it the absence of experience? Are you focused enough to understand what I am asking you? Do you comprehend the question? Excuse me, I'm bringing clarity, not trying. I'm bringing clarity in you. Do you understand what I'm saying to you or no? Is it the absence of the experiencee, or is it the absence of the experiencer, or it is the absence of the experience itself? You tell me. Which one is it? Is it the absence of experience, or is it the absence of experiencer? When you wake up following day and somebody asks you that how was your sleep, and you say, I slept like a log. I don't remember anything. I do not remember anything. I slept like a log. There was nothing. There was darkness, you see. Is this the absence of experience? Or it's the absence of experiencer? It's the absence of experience itself. It does not mean experiencer is not there. There has to be something over there which actually acknowledges. There has to be something over there which actually recognizes that there was darkness, isn't it? Isn't it? How would you come to the conclusion that you do not remember anything? How would you, in the very first place, would come to the conclusion that it was total blankness or it was total darkness? You see, how would you tell somebody that I do not remember anything? What is that I? Have you ever pondered yourself that much? Have you ever focused on yourself that much? What is that I which is saying, I do not remember? What is that? Tap on that. You see, the one who does not remember obviously is not absent. The one who does not remember is present over there to witness nothingness, to witness darkness, to witness that that one did not have no dream. Something was there to witness. There was a lady up north in the state of Washington when we were living over there. She became my friend. She was a good lady, very nice person, very loving person, and very caring. And I get too attached with people like that, no matter who they are, no matter what their gender is, and no matter what their color is, or any of these abstract things. No matter. It does not matter at all, but only the compassion, only the factor of selflessness in them attracts me, you see, towards them. And we form a band and we form a bond, you see. Then the people like that and me are attracted like the rubber band you pull, you see, the tension of that super thick rubber band and the two sides, you see. So that obviously tries to bring two fingers closer. Then I get attached to people like that because I love their presence and I know how significant their presence is in this dream of humanity. Remember, you are dreaming your life right now. That lady over there was very compassionate and selfless lady, and she became curious and she became interested about the yoga and meditation, and that was it for me. You show me any interest in these things, I would do everything in my power to bring clarity in you so your suffering can, and this is something I signed up for. So we started some sessions and she became so peaceful and she said, this is brilliant. I never knew that this is also the way of living. And I told her everything is within you, everything that you need to know. She actually was in a car accident, and she told me that she was in coma for numerous days. Coma, that you are just the small vital, no brain activity even in the coma, but you are just alive somehow, either miraculously or by the machines, God knows. It's not significant. What is significant? I asked her, what do you remember anything while you were in coma? And she said, just the dreamless sleep was I remember. You see now, the observations of sages thousands and thousand years back in India, how close they were to the reality. And she said that no, just like that I was in a dreamless state of sleep. She does not remember anything. She said, just like that, she was in a dreamless state of sleep. Dreamless state of sleep is not the absence of the one who experiencing it. Dreamless state of sleep is the absence of experience itself. You see, there is no experience. It does not mean the experiencer, the one who experiencing anything and everything does not exist. It exists very well. That very I which says I slept like a log, what is that I tap into it? So these are different level of awareness. These are different level of consciousness. So sages observe when you go in a dreamless sleep. Sages observe when you go in a state which is dreamless, where there is when you go in a state which is dreamless, where there is no sign of experience, where there is nothing to remember, remember, where there is nothing to remember, where there are no forms and no shapes, not even like a dream. Sages observe its dreamless state. In that state, consciousness even withdraws from the mind. Are you following me? The sense of self-awareness, the consciousness even withdraws from the mind. Since it withdraws from the mind, there is no dream now. Dream is originated, dream is founded on all the content that of all the lifetimes, not one lifetime, of all the lifetimes you have lived. You see, one time this chick, she was telling me a while back that she actually had really fun time with um, Johnny Depp in the dreams. Yeah, this one chick. I mean, she was not joking. She literally said, yes, the dream was so um, vivid, but it was obviously, she said, bummer, or she said, bummer, or alas, that it was a dream. But she mentioned that she had really fun time. She had really bubble up time with Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp, the actor. And it's not Johnny Depp's fault, though. Just in case, Johnny, if you are thinking to sue me, I'm saying it's not your fault. So she, excuse me, shh, quiet down. I must not be too loud. So she said that she had fun time, and what she understood in this lifetime as Johnny Depp was not Johnny Depp in the previous life. What she understood herself, what she was basically, what she understood herself, what she was, was what she understood herself as what she is in this lifetime. She was not in the lifetime before or before that point. Are you understanding? What she understood as Johnny Depp, that person, the name, and what traits this person has, he didn't exist like that. He didn't manifest like that in the lifetime before. But in this life, it is manifesting. The being is manifesting as Johnny Depp, and this blonde chick also is manifesting as how she is manifesting. But their energies maybe were exchanged in numerous lifetimes. You have lived countless and numerous lifetimes. You do not even remember, and you can easily lose the count if that you have lived. So what happens? All the content is being stored somewhere. Made out of you are manifesting as life energy or life force. That content somewhere is saved. That content somewhere is stored. That content is there, what you know as your mind, that you wrap around like a super thick like a super thick rubber band. You know that rubber band, you wrap your, wherever you go it would go, and so were the demons and the devil would go with you. You see, demons and devil are looking at the mind, because mind most of the time is acting like an ally to these culprits. And then as soon as it penetrates and you board on the useless thought, the demon and devil follow, and they penetrate more fear in you. That's why it is important to take charge of the mind, you see. So that is the point that chick was telling me. She had bubble up moments with Johnny Depp. You know, most of you ladies are thinking, what a lucky chick, isn't it? What you are thinking right now. But life goes beyond that. So, of course, there were exchange of energies. Now, this time, this person is manifesting like that. It's a new body. It's basically, it's basically a new accumulation. But the essence, you see, the essence which is sticking with the soul or Atman, which is nothing but a point of life energy. Another point of life energy is me. Another point of life energy is Star. Another life point of life energy is Bridget or April or Rita or Rachel or anybody. You see, these are all different life of point of life energy, which, so the the clarity I'm bringing is, you are existing, you are going back and forth in the low level of self awareness to this level of self awareness. One day you would wake up on rather much higher level of self awareness, and this you would say it was a dream, just like when you wake up from your dream and you say, oh, thank God it was a dream, just in case if it was a nightmare or you were frightened in the dream, if you understand what I'm saying. You also have good dreams. When you wake up from those dreams, you feel like, I didn't want to wake up in this reality. It sucks that it was a dream, isn't it? Have you not ever experienced yourself saying that? It happens, you see, just like this chick, the blonde chick I told you, having bubble up encounters with Johnny Depp. Obviously, did she want to wake? You know what I mean? So understand yourself and do not invest in something so much that you come to a point of being frightened, or you come to a point of being scared of something. You see, you would only be scared when you get attached, isn't it? That's very important for you to understand. Just about in every retreat, just about in every retreat that I mentioned that to you, that just about in every retreat that we do here, I mention one way or another, I mention it to you, that invest in something which always is throughout all the different level of awareness. The one which was in the third world countries, which are fanatically led by the religions, the one which is in the first world country, those are not led by the religions. The consciousness evolved from those countries to this country, you see, because now the consciousness is evolving. One day, the consciousness, if you try and you dedicate yourself to Kriya Yoga, and if you try and you dedicate yourself to Kriya meditation, one day you would bring so much clarity that this three-dimensional experience and you, which had taken the human form, is also has transcended, is has also, excuse me, has also transcended this reality, the human form. You see, now it is going further. And when you have transcended all the stages of self awareness or consciousness, then you become the part of the light. Then you become the part of the light. Those we understand also, the enlightened people, those we understand also, oh, this person is enlightened. It has transcended everything there is. It has transcended everything there is to transcend, if you understand. It has transcended everything, every form, every shape there is to transcend. Now this person has become the part of the light. So ponder on what I gave you. I wanted to bring clarity today through the words of truth and wisdom in your perception that these are the different level of awareness, and you are never missing. You run through every experience, whether it's a bad experience or it's a good experience. In reality and in all reality, experience is just experience. Good or bad, you attach to it. That's the limitation of your mind, not the limitation of experiencing. Experiencing is running either way, whether you are attaching the titles to the experience or you are not doing so. Experience is there, you see. And when the experience is running either way, the wise choice, my friend, my seers, my followers, and my loved ones, you would make is just to attach good title. So you can make this, so you can make this journey as pleasant as humanly possible. Remember, we talked about that. It's all in the journey. It's not in the destination. You know why? Because there is none. There is no destination. There is just journey. One of the things that I want to tell you before we perform meditation a little, that do somebody said to me, you would see my point. It's rather a little bent, you see, it's rather a little deviated, it's rather a little bent from the main topic that I wanted to bring clarity in you. You know what bend is? You like when I say bend, don't you? Have you ever bent over for something or somebody? You see, all these things is the part of this three-dimensional experience, if you understand. But these things are abstract, and we can only go so far with these things. So let us invest in something which is running through in every experience, whether it's a bad experience or it is a good experience, you see. So one of the things, you see, somebody said to me, you are a Hindu. I said, I am a proud one. And then you practice mysticism. I said, all day long. And this person said, how come you hold Jesus Christ so up high? I said, when you are asking this question, you are affiliating Jesus Christ with Christianity. You want to believe that Jesus Christ came on this planet basically to further Christianity. By the time Christ was crucified, by those peoples, there was no Christianity, and those disciples were nowhere to be found. Maybe one or two, I don't know. But I know that nobody was there actually to help. And after that, these people who witnessed Christ walking on the planet, basically, they came, whatever they heard, they came up with the remembrance of those occurrences and experiences and start writing a fictional storybook which we understand as Bible, if you understand. Did Bible come from the sacred or divinity or source firsthand? Absolutely not. It's the biggest lie ever. That's number one. It's a fairy book, just like another fairy book. All these monotheistic religions, they have their fairy books. So if you want to understand, the Christ I know is not the Christ you know through that fairy book. The Christ I know is not the Christ that you know through Bible. That's not the Christ. That's not the Christ that I know. The Christ I know, who said, no one comes to the Father but through I am. The Christ I know, who said that forgive you and you will be forgiven. The Christ I know, who said the one who lived by the sword would die by it. You see, the Christ I know was a very lively person. The Christ I know was a very brilliant human being or being. You see, that never in the worst mood ever would ever say to anybody, my people and your people, we gotta clean the house first, this and that. No, that Christ would not say that. That Christ was the custodian of this planet Earth. And I looked at that person, I said, just in case if you do not know that, but I do. That is the Christ that I uphold high, because his service to the mankind. He gave you nothing but wisdom. He gave you nothing but how you can turn this experience into paradise. That's all he preached. And this all, namaskar, namaskar. Come here. There is a lot of room here. Namaskar. That Christ basically gave you to get to the Father. He cleared the path for you. He gave you the transparency. But what happened since you chanted the words he said, since you wrote the words and you just, chanted the words like this, and you couldn't figure out what is the reality behind words. You got involved in the word. That's why you came up, God forbid me, 1,000 times, a twisted feature or a form of Lord Jesus Christ. I don't know that Jesus Christ. I know this Christ that I told you. And do not, because Lord Jesus Christ, there were a lot of words basically, unfortunately and sadly, shoved into his mouth because people wanted to have certain type of control on other people. You know that they manipulated his words and they projected him something he didn't have whatsoever anything to do. You see, and then why are you abusing Christ? Why are you abusing his name? Why are you calling him names? I was scrolling through the social media the other day, and somebody was mentioning something that calling names to Lord Christ. You see, you do a lot of foolish things in order to be the part of the society you live in. You understand? You do a lot of foolish things in the name of liberty and in the name of freedom. Am I condemning your action? No, I'm not. Am I bringing clarity that why you should not be doing that? Yes, and I just did. If your focus was intact, what I was telling you. You see, it's not Christ's fault that people started manipulating his words and his image and started shoving because they wanted to have certain type of control on other people into his mouth and say he said that and he said that and he said that. No, he didn't say that. If you want to get any wisdom from his life, read parables and his biography. Forget about Bible. You would not find no truth in Bible, you see. So that's what I am telling you today. It's not Christ's fault. It's just like that you are punishing or you are being hostile towards the parents of Jeffrey Dahmer just because Jeffrey Dahmer was a cannibal. Isn't it? Isn't it what you are doing? It's just like that you are being very hostile towards the parents, the father, the mother, or the relatives of Jeffrey Dahmer just because he was eating human flesh and he was doing cannibalism. That's what you are doing. Because of the culprits, the corrupt humans, the fanatic religious people, the one who says Christ live in church, the lies, those people just because they shoved words into Lord Christ's mouth and said he said that when they lied, basically. These are also the followers of demons, by the way, make no mistake. And then you think that was Lord Christ, you see, and then you go around and call him names. It's not his fault. that followers or the people who wanted monetary gain or wanted to establish some type of authority or a colony on other people, hmm, they did these manipulation things, you see. But you don't bother. You just say somebody's calling Jesus Christ names. I must be jump into the bandwagon. You like to jump into the bandwagon. You like what the band plays, huh? That's your story. So don't do that. Please look into it. Please look into his life and understand the wisdom he preached. Okay, because you do not know much about him. You see, all you know is what has been shoved into your mouth. That's how you are raising your kids. And those kids obviously are confused to begin with because you are not raising them in fairness and honesty. You understand what I am saying? You are not raising them in fairness and honesty. You say, do not do what I say. That's how you are raising this generation. You say this upcoming generation who's gonna hold the dharma of humanity. You see, you say do what I say, but not what I do. That's how you are raising in confusion and in dishonesty. That's not a good thing to do. Those people who are calling Jesus Christ names and using all type of this in the name of freedom and liberty, you have no idea who he was really. You only know the Christ. These people who wanted to have certain type of control on other people or authority, or wanted to establish, excuse me, wanted to establish a colony or the monetary gain or the financial gain they used, and that image of Lord Christ became very corrupted in your mind. And now you are not even trying to rectify the knowledge you have. You are not even challenging the knowledge you have. And instead of doing that, you are jumping into the bandwagon. Everybody's saying that. Maybe I should do that too. Really. Everybody is jumping into a canal. Everybody's jumping into fire. Everybody's jumping from the height. Are you going to do the same? No, that time your intellect works. No, that time you say, oh no, it may harm me. So what you are doing can also harm you. You know that? I'm not trying to scare you. I'm trying to tell you what you project out there, whether it's a meme. Nature or life has no recognition. It's a meme, or these are just words, or I'm posting a meme, or I'm just projecting a message on my t-shirt. Nature has no correspondence. What is the intention behind that would imprint on your karma? You see, it's not going to go anywhere. You see, it would come back to you one way or another. Know that. So instead of blaming Jesus Christ, maybe you should look a little further in it. But no, you were raised in also in this type of fanatic ideas, in these type of limited ideas. Oh, this is Bible, thumping the book in front of you, telling you this is what Christ said or Christ did or this or that. And they twisted the image, and now you are not questioning what you know. You must question what you know. That is very significant for your growth. Everything, question everything. So you understand now, my loved ones, that Christ was the Christ that I know. That Christ was the Christ that I have experienced in Samadhi. You understand that? And that Christ is not the Christ of Bible, where words are twisted and people are meditating on his name. Meditation has nothing to do with words or anybody's name or anything like that. Ponder on what I said. If you misunderstood something, you must write me. You see, do not make assumptions. Because you make assumptions, it has nothing to do with you. I'm only responsible for what I say. I'm not responsible what your hypocrite limited mind tells you I am saying. You see, I'm not responsible for that. I am only responsible for what I say. What you perceive, you are responsible. What I say, I'm responsible. There is truth somewhere in between. See this? Good. I always tell you to remember the word remember. Just keep meditating. I love you.